1 to 3 testing, 1 to 3 testing.
I've made some progress on the Mysterium Xerxes. I think I've identified the section that deals with opening a portal to Cameron's Paradise.
A portal to Cameron's Paradise. Very interesting.
I've learned that the Mysterium Xerxes is both the gate and the key to Cameron's Paradise. In some sense, the book is Cameron's Paradise. Manka Cameron bound himself to the Xerxes when he created his paradise, using dark rituals which I will not speak of further. A gate can be opened from the outside, however. It will be more difficult, as I will have to temporarily bind myself to the book, but I believe it can be done. I will continue working to decipher the arcane items needed for the binding ritual.
Interesting.
Farewell, my friend.
What do you need, friend? Whatever you need, friend. Farewell.
I'll feel better when you've eliminated those spies. There's no... What have you learned about the spies? This makes for grim reading. The Mythic Dawn did not take long to locate Martin again. The document speaks of 2 agents. You need to eliminate both of them. The plans you found make it clear that the Mythic Dawn will soon move against us here. You must eliminate their agents in Bruma.
All right. Let's track down and kill both of them. Yeah, does it actually? Let's see what does it say. You and Saberi for a most crucial mission. So it says it's a person named Saberi. Try to look that person. Look for that person tomorrow. In the game tomorrow. Not actually tomorrow. Well, this is very army-like. That's so interesting. They actually removed their... Such attention to detail. I didn't know they did this. They removed their armor for going to sleep. I don't think I've ever seen this in any Elder Scrolls game. Not even Skyrim. I mean, on modded Skyrim. If you play modded Skyrim, you can have anything you want, but that's quite interesting. To go to Bruma. Got the fast travel from here, gotta get outside. I believe these things are still here.
Yes?
Mm-hmm. It's much better. So Martin mentioned that the Mysterium Saxis is actually the portal. It is through a dark ritual this Michael Cameron guy created a paradise of his own. So literally what it says in the Mysterium Saxis of creating your own paradise is true. He actually created a paradise of his own. So is this really a Daedric ritual, or is it something else? Is it literally understanding the tools of creation into creating your own private paradise? Now, when you think about the Dunmer, who sort of ascended and disappeared from material reality, you can think that they probably got close to the same magic, to the same rituals to create their own paradise, not only for the individual Dunmer, but for their whole situation, for their whole people. Now, is this really something evil? Is this really something Daedric? Or is this something that it is literally the freedom and the achieving of the king, according to information in the Elder Scrolls? Now, as I've said, in the real research of all of these things, people are going to the other side, and I'm speaking about near-death experiences and even psychedelic situation. When you read trip reports and psychedelics like DMT and some of the other substances, what the substance does is simply to remove a barrier of the brain for consciousness to exit. And they have pinpointed this specific part of the brain, and they have done some research which deals with sort of disconnecting this specific part of the brain, and people become disassociated with their own bodies. They see their bodies from a different perspective. Now, the person, I think his name is Olaf Blanke. That's the researcher. Frost expired. So this researcher did this as someone who didn't believe in all of these things, and he doesn't. He's a skeptic who said there's nothing magical going on, there's nothing outstanding, it's simply a part of the brain which makes you associate with the body. But it's like literally Olaf Blanke. How are people looking at their bodies from a third person's perspective? Like how physically, how do you even justify this? And every single person who dies and comes back to tell the story, and every single person who does psychedelics tells a story about going outside their body and talking to beings on the other side, or in the heavens, or aliens, or wherever you may, or angels, or however you want to conceive these beings. And what they say is that, indeed, on the other side, you can create your own paradise. Why? Because you are pure consciousness. And it seems that the air that we live in is some sort of a plane of existence created by specific, before they were called deities, now we call them different things. Hello. It is very interesting, and it is beyond the lore, so I find that when you find this in the lore, it seems to be like a deeper truth that we know, and the developers and the people who write the lore, they go on about it through the filter of Dungeons and Dragons and quote-unquote magic. I do believe that this is why people become so fascinated by magic. It's a real thing. It has to do with consciousness and with the quantum fields and so on and so forth, but I'm not going to go into that right now. I think I had this quest about talking to her. Time. Just has the same kind. Well, first I'm gonna try to do. I'm not fine about. What if I talk to the guards and ask for this Severin guy? I mean, I'm already here. Might as well talk to the countess and ask them about this Severin guy. Wait, isn't she the one that I had to talk to? Oh no, it's I would have sworn that I have. With a stipend of gold and a request from Lady Carbine to meet her at the castle on the one thing too often the countess, I should accept the request and make my way there. She holds court. Yes, exactly. Within the bail.
I've heard much about your deeds from my people in Bruma. I trust the stipend Tolgan gave you whetted your appetite.
It was 25 gold, ma'am.
Good point. Allow me to formally introduce myself. I'm Countess Nerina Cavane. I assume you've noticed all the Akaviri relics I'm displaying. Well, it's safe to say I'm a collector of sorts. I've invested a great deal of time and money acquiring these bits of ancient history. In fact, I'd be so bold as to proclaim my collection the most complete in all Cyrodiil, perhaps even beyond. Except for one thing. A particular relic has eluded me for many years. Possessing this piece of Akaviri antiquity would make my collection complete. I'm of course referring to the Draconian Madstone.
And Madstone.
The stone is a fine bit of Akaviri craftsmanship. Worn like an amulet, this talisman is said to protect the wearer from poisons of any type. The Madstone appears as a snake, coiled around and encircling itself. The eyes of the snake are supposed to be precious gems or some such. Through my sources, I've learned that the last reported location of the Madstone was the ruins at Pale Pass. Are you familiar with the history of Pale Pass? Back at the end of the First Era, raiders from the continent of Akavir attempted to gain a foothold here in Tamriel. At that time, the Empire was broken into smaller factions. Raymond Cyrodiil decided to unify them and form an army to repel the Akaviri raiders. The force became known as the Army of Raymond. The two armies clashed in what's now northern Cyrodiil. The Akaviri were strong and well supplied. But their greatest error was marching through Morrowind on the way to their objective and dismissing the response it would garner from Vivek. They didn't count on Lord Vivek forming an alliance with the Trident Kings of the Dreg. From Morrowind, he struck at their rear flank. Not only did this make the Akaviri fight on two fronts, it also cut off access to reinforcements and supplies from the sea.
Interesting. I wonder if this was in Morrowind or something like that. A refresher wouldn't be so bad.
You must be joking, right? Who hasn't heard of the greatest known hero of the
I
first
forgot about it,
age?
lady. I think about many
Raymond
things.
Cyrodiil not only was the conqueror of the Akaviri forces, but he actually convinced them to help build the empire as it is today. With such an empire at his disposal, he conquered most of Tamriel, except Morrowind, of course, and was crowned emperor. In fact, he instituted the rites of becoming an emperor, which included the construction of the Amulet of Kings. His alliance with Lord Vivek during the Akaviri invasion is just one example of his cunning and ingenuity. Not quite. The army of Raymond knew that the organized Akaviri forces were commanded from a hidden post in the mountains. Rumors placed it in a snowy vale called Pale Pass. That's where Raymond focused his attention. As his forces fought their way across the Gerald Mountains, the Akaviri suddenly surrendered. It was assumed they were overwhelmed and gave up. The only strange part was that the command post and Pale Pass were never found. It was dismissed as a rumor, and the army of Raymond celebrated. It's come to my attention that the post did exist, and it happens to be the last reported location of the Draconian Madstone. If you retrieve the Draconian Madstone for me, I'll be happy to compensate you by rewarding you with another Akaviri artifact. Are you game? I had a feeling you'd accept. Good. Then let me tell you how you're going to find the Madstone. I've come into the possession of a diary, written by an Akaviri messenger. I suspect that the text within can lead you to the ruins. Here's a translation of the passages we could still read. It was quite damaged. I've also included a rough map that was drawn in the diary as well. I'm also providing you with a unique key that was supposedly found with the diary. I'm assuming it'll prove useful when you arrive at the site. I paid several scouts to try and find the ruins at Pale Pass before I hired you. They were only able to locate the first of a series of landmarks. These landmarks are mentioned within the diary. The one referred to as Dragonclaw Rock has been located. I'll mark it on your map. The rest is up to you. My scouts reported bitter cold and dangerous creatures in the area, so they couldn't proceed. Be cautious and return home soon. Good luck. The messenger's diary will make a nice companion to the Madstone in my collection. The Madstone awaits, and so does your reward if you retrieve it. He served Emperor Uriel for many years, and so far he has done well in an impossible situation. Some see only the conflicts between northern and southern cultures, but I see the way they are stronger when woven together. I don't trust you enough to talk about that.
Come on. She trusts me to get her artifact, but she doesn't trust me to get a house.
May the path ahead be free of danger.
Work. Oh, the Pale Pass. I remember this from Skyrim. This is the border where you cross, I think. Yeah, this is where they capture you. Interesting. I know you do this. You probably did. Get focus. Might have to sneak, because maybe they don't know that this severing person is a...
just one coin.
Tack is a good, inexpensive place for travelers.
I've had many meals there. Olaf is an excellent innkeeper.
Bye.
Well met.
It's gotta be a high elf.
Go ahead, please. Let's do business. You got a great deal there. You've made a good bit of gold.
Many potions.
An excellent bargain.
Wait a minute. Meh. It's not coming handy.
Another satisfied customer. Be seeing you.
Any time now.
Oh, please be generous, kinds. Nothing comes to mind. Of course, my memory sometimes ain't what it used to be. Ah, it's coming back to me now. Yeah, seems I saw someone looking out the window at Gerald's house the other day. Someone I'd never seen before. When Gerald wasn't home. You see what I mean? Now, if you'll excuse me, all this talk has given me a powerful thirst. Thank you kindly.
Well met.
for Lord Dagon! Only the chosen will survive the cleansing. The dawn is breaking. Paradise awaits me.
Sir.
What have you learned about the spies? Excellent work. I knew I could count on you. The gods did not idly choose you as their agent, whatever you may think. But we have not eliminated the threat against Bruma and Cloud Ruler Temple, only delayed it. I will warn the Countess of the danger. You should speak to Martin. I believe he has made some progress with the Mysterium Xarxes. I will send word to the Countess at once of the danger to Bruma. You should speak to Martin about his progress with the Xarxes.
This guy is tagged. Where's someone? Yeah. Medics. All these seem very interesting.
I've deciphered part of the ritual needed to open a portal to Cameron's paradise. The Xarxes mentions 4 items needed for the ritual, but so far I have only deciphered one of them. The blood of a Daedra Lord. In fact, Daedric artifacts are known to be formed from the essence of a Daedric Lord, from whence they derive their great power. Not an easy thing to come by, obviously, but we will need a Daedric artifact. Bring it to me when you have acquired one. The only way to obtain a Daedric artifact is through the cults devoted to each of the Daedric Lords. The book, Modern Heretics, is the best introduction to Daedric cults. The library here has a copy if you need it. Remember, the Mysterium Xarxes ritual will consume the physical form of the artifact in order to release its Daedric power.
He talks about the essence and stuff. Very interesting.
I think I'm close to deciphering more of the ritual. I hope to have made some progress by the time you return with the Daedric artifact. The next section of the Mysterium Xerxes is very difficult. I haven't deciphered the rest of the ritual yet. I hope you are making better progress.
Interesting.
I'm still working on the second item needed for the gate opening ritual. I believe I'm close to deciphering the relevant passage.
Daedra. Good modern heretics describe the location of the shrine of Asura. Perhaps if I visit this shrine, I can learn to obtain a Daedric artifact. Ah. I think it's time. I actually think this might be an interesting book. Let's see if I find something interesting here. Modern heretics, a study of Daedra worship in the Empire. There was a Godol's font. Daedra worship is not prohibited by the law in Cyrodiil. Primarily, this is a result of the Imperial Charter granted the Mages Guild, permitting the summoning of Daedra. It's not okay, so the worship is not prohibited by the law in Cyrodiil. Interesting. So this is so you can work on your conjuration and summon like minor, like a scamp or something of that nature, which I don't like, but I can't do like. I don't think it's good, actually. Nonetheless, chapel and public opinion is so strongly against Daedra worship that those who practice Daedric rituals do so in secret. However, opinions about Daedra worship differ widely in other provinces. Even in Cyrodiil, traditional opinions have changed greatly over the years. The community survive which worship Daedra. Some more traditional Daedra worshippers are motivated by piety and personal conviction. Many modern Daedra worshippers are motivated by a lust for arcane power. In particular, questing heroes of all stripes seek after the fabled Daedric artifacts for their potent combat and magical benefits. I personally have discovered one community worshipping the Daedra, Lord Asura, Queen of Dawn and Dusk. A researcher curious about Daedra worship might research in several ways: study of literature, through exploration, and the discovery of ancient Daedric shrines, through questioning local informants, and through questioning worshippers themselves. Use all these means to discover the shrine of Asura. I don't know if I actually want this one because I gotta choose. Oh man, I gotta Google this because I gotta choose the right one to destroy, I think. Warhammer of Bolendrung. That sounds fun. I like a Lord of Monsters. I think I should give Kirsten's hide, Savior's hide. I'm not gonna wear the hide. I'm not a like a hunter leatherman sort of character. So that's probably the best one to give. I think Asura Star might come in handy, especially since I don't want to take souls from actual humans. I think with the star you can actually take souls from animals to recharge your or to do your magical concoctions or whatever you may need. Very interesting. Modern Heretics is such an interesting book by Hader's Gutsfold or whatever his name is. Interesting. Alright, to find a Daedric artifact it is. I like Bruma. I think I'm gonna buy a house somewhere around there. I can do Frostcrack Spire and kind of chill around the temple here. Hopefully it won't get destroyed in the story. Still hang around. Then maybe if I buy a house in Bruma, like I'm set.
Sir, sorry, but I'm too busy to talk right now. Try one of the other blades.
Okay. Which artifact to give to Martin?
Hail! Good evening, sir. Sir.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. Hail,